Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm excited to share with you different ideas for party fragrances for Christmas. I am so pumped because I love parties. But I even love more choosing the fragrances that I'm going to wear. So I wanted to give you a few ideas. This is just kind of a fun video. I hope that you enjoy and maybe get some inspiration for what you might want to wear for the Christmas season. Before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button, join the Weird and Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community, and let's get started. The first party that I thought of, and it's actually one of my favorites, is like a sledding party, skating party, skiing party, that kind of idea where you're outside in the cold and then you come in for hot chocolate and some tasty treats or maybe like some sort of crock pot meal, but you're all together having fun outside and then come in, maybe a sleigh ride, something like that. An outdoor activity is one of my favorites. One of my favorite things to do when I was in high school was to go for sleigh rides. But for whatever reason, just full disclosure, almost literally, almost every time I went, I ended up peeing my pants, literally, from laughing so hard. And what would happen is I wasn't the most coordinated and I'd get pushed off the sleigh, because everybody would push each other off the sleigh. And then I would be laughing so hard that I'd be weak and that I wouldn't be able to get myself back on the sleigh. So I would end up dragging behind the sleigh with half my body on the sleigh and half off. Anyway, it was always a spectacle and I always laughed so hard that usually I ended up peeing my pants, which is kind of embarrassing, but didn't wreck the fun of it. I love sledding. I love skiing. I pretty much have had accidents in every genre of outdoor activity. I'm scared to skate because I know that I would have a bad fall. And I don't think I'd be able to get up. There's nothing worse than falling and not being able to get up. So I'm not skating anytime soon, but I love skiing. I love skidooing. I just think it's so much fun. Thinking about that kind of party where you want to get all warm and cozy when you come in, but you want to smell like something comforting while you're outside, something warm while you're outside. I would choose By the Fireplace by the replica line of Maison Margiela. Now this, it smells like burning wood and chestnuts, like chestnuts roasting on an open fire. It's got a bit of a marshmallow vibe. And essentially what you're getting is vanilla and woods. And the woods have kind of a burning fire feel to them. So I think this is such a gorgeous fragrance. Overall, I don't pull this out very often because it is quite woody, but this is a super comforting fragrance and it smells like you're by a crackling fire and you're roasting a marshmallow and there's some nuttiness in the air, and then you pull out your marshmallow and you stick it in your mouth and it has some of the residue from the fire on your marshmallow, like that burning wood smell in your mouth is kind of the feel that I get with this one. So super warm and cozy and perfect for that outdoor Christmas party. Now, for any of you parents out there, the joys of the school Christmas concerts. Now, either you love them or you endure them, and usually it's a mixture of both. So I love kids' Christmas programs. I used to love them and I would cry literally every time because I'd be so grateful to be able to be there. Wonderful watching the kids. I always got emotional, but in fact, just talking about it, I kind of get emotional. But I used to love those parties so much, but you don't want to smell too strong or anything. And I kind of want to smell, again, kind of cozy and edible and yummy. So what I chose was not a perfume, but a set from Bath & Body Works, and it's Jolly Gingerbread Village. Now, I really love Joe Malone's Ginger Biscuit and the Dua version, whatever that's called, ginger cookie or whatever it is. It smells really, really close. But even that, when you add shipping on and bring it to Canada, you're looking at about $80. So I went on the hunt and I found this, and this gives me my gingerbread fix. So it says that this has golden gingerbread, vanilla icicles, and Yuletide timber. So a mixture of gingerbread, vanilla, and woods. And I really, really enjoy this. It's got enough ginger kick that it doesn't feel juvenile. So I am loving this combination. What I like pairing it with is Spicy Delice, again from JUS Parfums, and that kind of gives it a little bit of extra ginger, and this adds the sweetness. So I love this combination. So good. And for me, for a Christmas concert or something like that, this would be just great because it's kind of celebratory in Christmas, but not going to be overpowering. The last daytime party I was thinking about was like a brunch type party where you're getting together maybe with all your girlfriends. You're going to go to some sort of fancy brunch. You're going to have like champagne and orange juice and all sorts of delectable goodies and just have a really, really beautiful time, probably dressed up a little bit nicer. I decided to go for a combo, and this was one of your suggestions. So one of you mentioned this combination and I tried it the very next day and thought it was amazing. And it is Anam Gold by Lattafa and Yara by Lattafa. So this is kind of a fluffy marshmallow feel. This is kind of a little bit of a musky, sweet, lotiony feel, but somehow the two of them working together is just delicious. This kind of amps up the sweetness of this and the fluffiness. So somehow this is just a great combination, and you smell a little bit like a fruity marshmallow somehow. But an elevated fruity marshmallow. So you smell good, you smell sophisticated, you smell sweet, and it's totally celebratory. If you've got these two, you should really try it. Or try this with something like Oriana or Love Don't Be Shy, and you might really enjoy that. You might not, because Yara is Yara, but anyway, the combo, fantastic. So whoever you were, say that you gave me the idea in the comments, and thank you so much, because this was fantastic. I'm going to talk about 3 kind of more evening type events before I get into the actual Christmas, the Christmas celebrations. So the first that I thought of was an opulent formal evening. So you're going to some huge ballroom. It's like so glamorous, probably some sort of fancy stone mansion. You have on an elegant formal length gown. You get driven to wherever you're going with your significant other who's wearing a tuxedo. You've got your best jewels on, and so does he. Anyway, you guys look just absolutely gorgeous. You're excited. They've got a string quartet playing Vivaldi's Four Seasons. It's beautiful. There's big fireplaces kind of all around this room. The environment is just warm and inviting. There's a ginormous Christmas tree. There's tons of real foliage, real evergreen kind of everywhere. The evergreen cedar swags. Very, very beautiful party. And you would be wearing Vanilla Royale Sugared Patchouli 64. Now this, although it's vanilla, it's very, very opulent and sophisticated smelling. The vanilla is kind of like the base, where you've got tons of patchouli and oud and booziness, kind of all mixed in with some delicious kind of creamy desserts. That's the smell of this. So if you don't like patchouli, you may find this to be too strong. I really like the term sugared patchouli because it feels like they've taken patchouli leaves, they've coated them in sugar, and then they've dried them. And when you go and you break apart, you smell the spice, and then the sugar kind of flies up, and that's kind of what you get. So I love this fragrance. I think it's super rich and sophisticated, but still stays warm and sweet and super festive. Like, to me, this smells like Christmas. Love this one. The next party is a work party. Now, work parties to me, depending on who you work with and what kind of a job you have, work parties might not be very much fun. And from what I understand, work parties can get pretty wild. Work parties have never gotten wild in my realm, thankfully, because I don't think I'd like that. But I thought of 2 fragrances that I think would work, kind of taking you from the office, like a little bit sweeter, a little bit more a little bit more sensual than you would maybe normally wear to the office, but thinking about going into the evening, both of these are great options. And the first one is La Belle by Jean-Paul Gaultier. This is pear, vetiver, vanilla. There's apparently some leather in this one as well. A little bit spicy. To me, it smells like a boozy poached spice pear. That's kind of the feel that I get, but it's very vibrant and sweet and jubilant, and it's just a fun fragrance. I find La Belle energizing, but it's still quite sexy because it's so sweet and yummy and delicious. So love this fragrance. I think it's a great fragrance for a date night, or if you're wanting to smell a little bit extra, this one's great. One that's a little less playful and flirty and a little more sensual and sophisticated would be Musc Noir Rose for her. Now, what makes this so sensual and sexy is it has rose and plum, and rose and plum are just an amazing combination. And to me, even the fruits, like pear is kind of a fruit that I associate with Christmas time. Like, you can eat them whenever you want, but plums, I think sugar plums, that kind of thing. This doesn't smell like a sugar plum. This smells like a sexy plum. So this smells like a rich, dense, dark plum. Maybe it's been cooked down as well, mixed with that rose, and then this beautiful kind of musky base that just adds this softness to this. So this is way more alluring and sexy and sophisticated and mysterious. Gorgeous fragrance, and I really appreciate the longevity on both these ones. They're great, so they're going to last you all the way from daytime into your later afternoon, early evening work party. So yeah, perfect for that. So now going into the actual Christmas season, thinking about Christmas Eve, there's two ways that people celebrate. Either they get super duper dressed up and it's really kind of an elegant evening affair, or it's more casual at home, just kind of fun type evening, really casual. Personally, like, ours tends to be a little bit more casual, but I like when I was growing up, Christmas Eve, my mom would make this ginormous. I think we had about 4 courses of meat. So ribs, sausage, chicken, lutefisk, which I never participated in, and then tons of veggies and salads, and it was a big deal. And so we always, as a family, dressed up on Christmas Eve. Like, you wore a dress or a beautiful blouse and skirt. And normally we ate in the kitchen. Come Christmas time, it was in the formal dining room, that kind of idea. And I loved that. I loved getting dressed up as a family and sitting down and celebrating that way. So I tend to always, even though our Christmas Eve now as a family is a lot more casual, I tend to want to dress up Christmas Eve, even if nobody else is. I dress up usually because Christmas Day is my day that I work, get everything. Christmas Day, I do all the cooking and stuff for Christmas Day. So Christmas Day, I look like a disaster half the time. It's rare that I look normal Christmas Day. So for Christmas Eve, I would go with Sable Gris by Experimental Perfume Club. This fragrance is seriously one of my favorite fragrances right now. Definitely cardamom heavy. It smells really, really expensive to me. It smells like old money somehow. It smells like it's got sandalwood. There's some cardamom. It gives me a vibe like Gris Charnel by BDK, but this is way better in my opinion. So this is a little less sharp. It's a lot more smooth. It's richer by far, but it has that same almost clean feel with sandalwood and cardamom. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like, one of my favorite fragrances that I've received in 2023 is Sable Gris. Like, I love this fragrance. So anyway, this would be definitely, this is what I'm going to wear for Christmas Eve for sure. Now, if it's more casual, you could go different routes. Like, I was thinking about it, you could do something like Le Chocolat, which is by Chabot, which is just kind of like a warm chocolatey fragrance. You could do something like that. I still want to treat it a little bit more like an event. So if for my casual, I would go with L'Extase by Nina Ricci. This is delicious. It's rose forward, but it's got caramel and raspberry in it. I don't get a ton of raspberry, but I definitely get the rose and the caramel. Very sweet, warm, again, elegant, quite sensual, very feminine. It's a little bit more old school, but it is so delicious, long lasting. So this is still elegant, but it's not so formal. So it's an elegant, sweeter, a little bit more celebratory fragrance. So likely I would put this one on if I was doing a little bit more of a casual Christmas Eve. For Christmas Day, I would go in two different directions. I'm not quite sure which one I'll choose. The first is Modeste 2 by Afnan. This is super affordable, like $36 or something like that. This has cherry, strawberry, raspberry. I think there's a few other fruits in it. Very similar to La Nuit Trésor by Lancôme. This one's just sweet and delicious. It's got some chocolate in there, feels really festive. It's very intoxicating type addictive fragrance. So that sweet kind of date night fragrance that smells really yummy. This is it. It's got nice projection, but you're not going to choke anyone out. To me, a fragrance like this feels really celebratory, and just if you want to smell delicious, choose this one. The one I will likely go for Christmas Day is Intense Cafe by Montal. Now this one has rose again. I am such a huge rose fan. So Modeste 2 has rose as well, but it's a lot more fruit forward. This one is more of a sweet, there's a slight hint of coffee, but very, very slight. A slight jammy rose with a little bit of milkiness in there, and then some woods. I can smell it on the packaging, and it just smells rich and intoxicating. It's very, very yummy, and I just love the potency of this. So this is a fragrance I could throw on for the day. It's going to give me good memories because I'm definitely going to smell it. And it doesn't smell like food. I don't want to smell like food on Christmas Day because I'm eating lots of it. So I want to smell delicious. I want to smell a little bit fancy, but I don't want to smell like food. So Intense Cafe is a great one. Even though it has a slight coffee note, it's mainly rose and kind of a little bit of woodiness with just a hint of sweet milky aspects, kind of, I guess. Yeah, somehow a little bit of milkiness. It feels a little bit oudy. It's a really gorgeous fragrance, and the projection and the longevity is amazing. So you don't need much, and you're going to smell fantastic for the whole day. So thinking about Boxing Day, I'm thinking I want to smell really uplifting and energized and excited, but I also want to smell like someone you don't mess with if I'm going shopping, because it gets crazy in those crowds, and I want the crowds to part. I want smooth sailing to whatever stores I might be going to. It's rare I go to stores on Boxing Day because I hate shopping on Boxing Day. But if that's what I was doing, I would wear Cherry Punk by Room 1015. So delicious. It's got a bright, boozy cherry note. It's so yummy, really mouthwatering. The cherry is similar to the Tom Ford Lost Cherry top note with that boozy, delicious kind of dark cherry. This one's a little brighter, but it's still really rich and delicious. Very, very saturated and concentrated, I guess would be the word I'd use. But what sets this apart is that it has a leather note. So the leather in this is so much nicer than the woods in Lost Cherry, in my opinion. I love the leather. I'm not a huge fan of woods. I have to be in the right mood, although more and more I'm leaning towards woody fragrances. This has that leather in there. It's just in the background. So you do smell the leather for sure, but you get this delicious cherry that's so invigorating and uplifting, but just a little bit of naughtiness in there, which I absolutely love. So this is a fantastic fragrance. It's what I'm going to wear for Boxing Day, people, for sure. So for New Year's Eve, again, people either go formal or they go fun. Usually we go fun. We're not an overly formal group of people here in Edmonton, Alberta. At least I'm not. My family isn't. If I was going formal, for sure, I would wear Baroque Satin Oud by Maison Alhambra. This is my new favorite fragrance. Like right now, I am so in love with this fragrance. You get rose, there's some violet in here, there's definitely oud. It's rosy and it's jammy. Someone mentioned that they thought that this has pear in it. I'm not sure. I haven't tried to find the notes on this one, but definitely you get some sort of sweet fruitiness in the opening. I do have Oud Satin Mood, so I need to compare the two. I know that they're not identical, but this gives you that same feel. So it's definitely in the same family. So the violet doesn't smell like super, super powdery, like an Ocelot's type fragrance. The violet in here, you definitely get it. It's definitely powdery, but it just kind of adds this softness to the rose and oud. It's absolutely addictive. Like this, I want to keep wearing it. It lasts a long time, so I sprayed it on my clothes a couple days ago, didn't wash my sweater, and I could still smell it on it. So definitely great longevity, at least on clothes. On skin, not sure as long, but I think it's just going to improve as I have it. Love this fragrance. It's the perfect fragrance for an elegant, opulent New Year's Eve where you're dressed in kind of a fancy, kind of maybe a short cocktail dress, high heels, you're dancing the night away, and you smell like this.
And you smell so addictive that people just keep flocking to you, and then the party gets so huge around you that it's like a massive rave. Yeah, you'd be wearing Baroque Satin Oud. It would be hard because you would smell so good. You'd become the new sensation. Like all of social media would hear about how amazing this one woman smelt at this one party, and it would be you wearing Baroque Satin Oud. I'm telling you, it's fantastic.
If I was staying at home, which I likely will be, I would wear Lait de Biscuit by Chabot. This is just yummy. Like, so for a staying in party, it smells like cookies. That's it. It just smells like cookies. It's comforting, it's warm, it's cozy. And this is what I will be wearing for New Year's Eve for sure. And the last fragrance is New Year's Day. And New Year's Day is, again, uber casual. The fragrance that I would pick is Velvet Vanilla by Mancera. This is completely different than all the rest of the fragrances. This is tuberose, it's bubblegum tuberose. It's sweet, it's energizing, it's invigorating. It ends up smelling like vanilla buttercream icing on my skin. And I would choose it because for whatever reason, this is a party in the bottle, in my opinion. Somehow this just, to me, speaks to party mode and in celebrating. And I love to bring in the new year that way. So when I bring in a new year, I want it to be the start of a really good year. So I usually put this one on. This reminds me of celebration, of positivity. It feels energizing and happy. It's a party in a bottle, and I love to start my year off with this one specifically. I've done it for 2 years. This is going to be my third. Always going to wear Velvet Vanilla on New Year's Day. What about you? What are your favorite fragrances for the Christmas season, the holiday season, whatever celebration you are celebrating? What are the fragrances that you kind of go to for your celebratory events? Please leave them in the comments. I would love to hear about them. And other than that, have an amazing Christmas season. Really enjoy your loved ones, enjoy your coworkers, your friends, your family, whoever, like wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, make sure to take time to just really enjoy and be in the present, because you are the present. Like really, we are the present. We are always talking about getting presents for one another, but really, we are the present. Like spending time with one another, enjoying one another's company, really appreciating and spending time actively listening and loving. That we are the present. We bring our love and we also receive love. Like it's a win-win if we could remember that. So instead of getting all busy with stuff that you have to do, which is so easy to do, especially as women, because we basically run Christmas. We do the buying, we do the wrapping, we do the food, we do so much. So and maybe some of you men do that as well, but I want to encourage you to enjoy spending time with your family, to enjoy spending time with yourself, and really remember that we are the gifts. Like we are, you know, you are a gift to your family, and your family is a gift to you. And so if you can remember that during the season, I think it'll make it way more fun. I know it makes it better for me. So anyway, enjoy your season, whatever that looks like for you, and have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.